Shout out to the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. Now, in today's video, and for those that are just joining, my name is Thaddeus, and this is the Regalchange YouTube channel. Now, for today's topic, I want to talk about the assault on masculinity in our society, how to stand strong in masculinity, and how to maintain and stand up and maintain your assertiveness. Because ultimately, I had a very interesting conversation with someone in my community earlier today, and we were talking about the nature of success. And something that came to mind when I was thinking about this was how success is, I always thought success was like a place, right? I always thought like success was a place to go. When I thought about wanting to be successful, I thought about how I could get to a place and then feel like I was quote unquote successful. Now that is not what I think in the slightest. Success is a state of mind in which you assertively defend. And when I mean a state of mind, I literally mean it is a state. Your mind is, in many ways, shapes, and forms, is a fortress. And how people can infiltrate your fortress is going to be determined by how well your your cognitive abilities, your cognitive archers, let's say, can defend the walls, and how good the logical fortifying walls and the doors are going to be when it's up against chaos. Because ultimately that's what chaos is, right? It's going to just, it's like the ocean. It's just going to rampage through whatever it can. And if you don't have a fortress of order and logic, especially as a man, then the fortress of your mind is going to be infiltrated. And there are going to be people that can be like Trojan horses. And they're going to, oh yeah, here's this thing. And they're going to try to just sneak their way in to your fortress. And you thinking that it's a gift that you're receiving is actually going to be your downfall. So we have to be, as men, understanding that we have to look at our minds, our bodies, and souls as a place to protect, and especially the ones that we love and care for, or our friends or our community, whatever. I am always ready for anything. I got to the point, especially doing martial arts for nearly a decade, and then also continuing to practice. And when I did get out of shape, and then I got back in shape nearly 3 years ago, well, over 3 years ago now, but it took a long time for me to get back to that place to where, because I was nearly 200 pounds of fat, and now I'm about 155. And that was quite a transition, quite a change. But ultimately, what changed the most was my warrior-like mindset and mentality. I had the magician, as far as the archetypes, let's say, if we're going to talk about archetypes, the four main archetypes of any man, and anybody that's read this book will understand, it's the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. And the king is responsible for maintaining the kingdom, right? He's responsible for nourishing and blessing the community. The warrior is responsible for protecting and maintaining the discipline. The magician is the one that you go to for wisdom, and then obviously the lover is the one that you are one with all things. You are feeling yourself in the grain of sand. You are not just you're not just feeling the grain of sand. You are a part of the grain of sand when you feel it in your hand. That's the difference. So, and these are all like the mature level of these archetypes. There's obviously immature levels of archetypes that we could get into, but for the focus of this video, we're going to stick with the warrior mindset and why exactly it is that masculinity is being attacked. And I think a lot of that has to do with, because the men are letting this happen. to be quite honest. I genuinely believe that based off of what I've seen and all the people that I've talked to and everything of the sorts. It's almost like you can't even really, I don't know what in the world is going on out there. They're like riding bikes or whatever. Apologize if there's that extra noise there, but anyway, we'll continue on with the video. So ultimately, men are responsible for maintaining the order and the structure in the society. It's no wonder, like, okay, let's think about this, right? Because women are, generally speaking, more masculine than ever nowadays. And it's just like I've met women, particularly at the gym or even in the workplace specifically as well, where it's like they're trying to outcompete me all the time. And it's just like, and then at the same time, they're like attracted to me because fundamentally they're still women. And so when I'm just being who I am and I'm just like not even really caring, because like I'm not worried about a woman out competing me. Like I'm not worried about competition with women. And it's not because I don't care or I think that women shouldn't be part of the worldly competition as far as like careers or whatever. It's just that I, as a godly man, do not give a rat's ass if you are trying to grow more in your career. That's me. That's on me. That's my responsibility. Now, if you want to do that, go ahead. Like, no, I'm not going to stop you if that's something that you want to do, but I would prefer for you to be able to be at home, hopefully with the family that we create down the line. And so I want to make sure that I'm gathering all my resources and I'm gathering everything that I need to be able to provide and protect for the family that we're going to be creating. And if you're not on board with that, that's fine. But a lot of the times these women out here think that like they think that it's attractive for them to act like men. I've had plenty of women at the gym. They ask for like a spot or something, and they go like extra hard, and I can tell that they're trying to impress me. And it's like, I'm glad that you're staying in shape. I'm really glad that you're doing that. But it's like, for me, it's honestly kind of a turn off because it's like you don't understand that I value what I mentioned at the beginning of the video: warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women. I don't value these hard, strong, competitive women, like these like Wonder Women, like what were the people called in Wonder Woman, the Amazonians or whatever, like the warriors and such, like, and that's cool, right? Like if that's who you are, that's cool. But I'm going to say right now that like I'm just personally, and all of the godly men that I know and have talked to, or at least that are on the path of being a godly man, they're not about that either, ladies. And it's not necessarily that like we don't want you to be fit or anything like that. It's just we prefer like softness. Even if you think about our biology as a whole, men are we're going to get it a little bit real here. So men are hard. Okay? They're literally hard. That is what it is. Women, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's very flexible and it can stretch. You guys get the point. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but you guys understand where I'm coming from. So that's just biologically what it's supposed to be. And that has a profound impact on our psychology and our psychophysiology as well. So I understand like these women, they're like, I can tell they're like confused sometimes too. They're confused because when I'm assertive, they find it attractive, but yet at the same time, they want to control me. And it's like, you can't tame this, girl. You can't tame me. I'm an untamable warrior. I cannot be tamed. That's just my mindset, though. That's my mindset. My mindset is that of a lion, a hunter, and a provider, and a warrior. I am in my mindset when I'm at the gym, because at the gym, I'm at my most masculine form. And even when I'm doing these videos, I'm more activating the magician archetype and the kingly archetype more than the warrior or the lover, let's say. But when I'm at the gym, it's like 100% warrior. Like it may be like 90-95% warrior archetype that I'm channeling. And it's important to understand for any men out there that may be confused by this, you are not the archetype. You're a vessel for the archetype. Okay, that's an important distinction to just note there. So when I'm at the gym and I'm in my most masculine essence, like I'm focused, I'm determined, I don't need anybody that like isn't about my shit to be talking to me. If you ain't about this, if you ain't on this, go somewhere else, man. Like that's just who I am. That's how I go. So, but if you have that drive, if you have that ambition, if you understand the world, then I'm all about hearing you out. I'm all about learning and growing. But if there's nothing that we can do to grow together, it's kind of like, you go your way, I'll go mine. So women now think that becoming more masculine is going to be attractive to us men, because what they find attractive in men, they don't always understand that kind of concept of what they find attractive in men is not attractive to women from men's perspective. So what's attractive doesn't always, for both genders, doesn't always overlap. In fact, most of the time it doesn't, but you guys understand. So this is something that I've noticed, and this is why I'm encouraging the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women to be that. And literally every single woman that has been like that in my presence, women are getting far more, even the modern women are getting more and more submissive and cooperative each day that I interact with them. And it's almost like it's because they can't not be in some way because of just my presence alone. Men, what you have to understand a lot about masculinity is presence. It's being able to be who you are as you are and embracing all of that and not giving a flying about anybody else and what they think. And it's not necessarily that you don't care about other people, you don't have compassion for other people. It's more so that if people are going to judge you based off of the life that you live, and you have the wisdom and discernment enough in your spiritual life to understand that the life that you are living is propagating a certain form of success for yourself, then you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can say, well, this is how I live my life. You can take it or leave it. You don't need to. We're not here to debate, okay? And that's the whole essence, in some sense, of masculinity as well. It's not necessarily that you can't negotiate or you can't, communicate, because that's a lot about communicating boundaries and enforcing boundaries are very important in masculinity as well. I've had to be enforcing boundaries a lot with the women that I've talked to recently, because some of them are just, it's almost like they can't help themselves. They're just, it's like I'm the sun and they're like these planets that just keep orbiting around me. And as much as it's flattering, it's also kind of annoying, because it's like, you're not like, I know who you are. Like, we're not compatible. It's okay, but we're not compatible. And that's just the way that I live my life now. And so I think this is going to just be something that kind of continues to happen, especially for the men out there that you're on your path, you're growing. You have to be aware that there's going to be times when people are going to want certain things from you, and you're not always going to be able to provide those things not because you're unable to. It's because you don't want to put your resources in the wrong and your eggs in the wrong basket, so to speak. You want to put all of your eggs in the basket that you know is going to be able to be defended by yourself. Because ultimately, material possessions mean nothing if you can't defend it. Right? So if you don't have the material possession, or if you don't have the capability to defend that which you have, then you really don't have anything. And so this is one of the other reasons why society is trying to stomp on masculinity. It's weird because this is a topic that it's so construed now. Like there's so many different perspectives of it, but ultimately what I want to encourage is men to be godly men and women to be the wives that we just discussed previously in the video. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful, and until next time, peace be with you.